What are genetically modified foods? Genetically modified foods are those which are made from or made using genetically modified organisms, or GMOs. GMOs are animals or plants whose DNA has been changed in a way that does not happen naturally. Technology is used to transfer genes from one organism to another, or even between non-related species, to create GMOs. As a society, we have been manipulating crops for decades, not only through genetic engineering, but also through chemical mutagenesis, cloning, and marker-assisted breeding. Genetically modified foods were developed because of perceived benefits such as added nutritional value, crop protection due to a developed resistance to disease, and herbicide tolerance. However, some perceived disadvantages of GMOs are loss of biodiversity, cross-pollination with native plants, and lack of research regarding long-term effects. GMOs are present in many different types of food. The primary foods containing GMOs are canola, corn, cotton, and soybeans. Although these are but a few crops, these ingredients can be found in most processed foods that we consume. High fructose corn syrup is the primary sweetener in most products, ranging from drinks to candies to pastries and even in ketchup. Cornstarch and soybeans are commonly used to make sauces, which are ubiquitous in frozen foods. Oils from GMO corn, cottonseed, and soybean are used to make frying oils, margarine, and are sometimes used as salad dressing. It is estimated that around 70% of products found in a grocery store are bottled, packaged, or frozen with varying degrees of genetically engineered ingredients. Other major food crops that contain GMOs are alfalfa, apples, eggplants, papaya, potatoes, squash, and sugar beets. The consumer's right to know revolves around a free market that provides accurate information so that its consumers can make informed decisions when choosing foods. For example, genetically modified corn has been developed to produce insecticides. This is regulated by the Environmental Protection Agency, but it is sold unlabeled. Walmart sells genetically modified sweet corn from Monsanto that has this insecticide without informing the consumer. Most developed countries, including the United Kingdom, those in the European Union, Australia, Russia, China, and Brazil, already have laws that require labeling. The United States does not have such federal law, but states like Vermont, Connecticut, and Maine have passed labeling laws. Currently, in response to these state laws, big food companies have been backing legislation dubbed Deny Americans the Right to Know Act, or the DARK Act. This legislation being introduced is to make GMO labeling voluntary. Consumer reaction is seen as a big threat due to many ugly truths that go into processing our foods. But denying Americans the truth behind food production is creating confusion because consumers are unaware of what is in their food. Connecticut and Maine have passed GMO labeling laws in 2013 and 2014, respectively, but these laws will not be effective until surrounding states enact similar regulation. The Vermont Act 120 requires GMO labeling and is supplemented by the Consumer Protection Rule 121, which explains how the act shall be implemented as of June 1, 2016. The Vermont law requires 3 label statements to be used. Raw agricultural products can only be labeled as produced with genetic engineering. The label, partially produced with genetic engineering, which is what will be used for canned goods, states that the food product is made from less than 75% genetically engineered material by weight. The final statement, may be produced with genetic engineering, applies if the manufacturer does not know after a reasonable attempt has been made to find out if the ingredients are genetically engineered. All 3 statements may be applied to packaged processed foods. According to the law, GMO labeling only applies to retail foods sold in Vermont where the customer is also the consumer. However, there are several exemptions to labeling. Some of these include alcoholic beverages, certified non-GMO foods, USDA-certified organic products, and USDA-approved animal foods such as meat, eggs, and poultry. While the jury is still out on whether or not GMOs are actually bad for human health, it is still our right as consumers to be aware of what we are purchasing and putting into our bodies. States like Vermont are moving in the right direction, and it is hopeful that the other states will soon follow suit.